So just today, I bought the limited edition Avengers Endgame Steelbook here from Best Buy, and I noticed something, that there's a shadow cast over Nebula and Ant-Man over here. Why you gotta do Ant-Man dirty like this? What's wrong with Ant-Man? Why doesn't no one like Ant-Man? Everybody, KabooseDOTexe here, and we're back again with some Killing Floor news. And on today is what we're up to for August 15th, 2019, entitled Research. We have 3 more weapons, but there's a catch to these weapons here, and there is a special note here. All right, it says this, as a reminder, HRG weapons, which HRG stands for Horzine Research Group, HRG weapons here are free for all players. So basically for what they're doing is that they're going to have some weapons added for free and some that you have to pay for. For those of you who haven't seen last week's What We Were Up To, you can check out my video. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can find out about the whole $10 per new weapon thing. But these weapons today, you don't have to worry about paying for. These ones are going to be free. Just those 2, which are the Rhinos and the Ion Thruster, those ones you got to pay for. So that means in the next update, we're going to get like 5 new weapons. So that's pretty crazy. But let's get back to the task at hand here, because there's more in the special note. The second sentence has this to say. Our goal with these weapons is to provide some new gameplay opportunities to different perks using some pre-existing assets. What it's saying is this. To kind of cut costs and time, they're going to make it so that way they're just going to take models from pre-existing weapons, maybe modify them slightly, add a new texture, but most importantly, make them behave different so that way they work for different perks. This way they can cut down on costs and they won't have to worry about putting as much time and effort into making those weapons, so that way they can at least provide some new weapons for free to the community. So with this update, you're going to have 2 different kinds of weapons. You're going to have ones that are built from the ground up that you got to pay for, or at least somebody's got to pay for so that way you can use it. And you're going to have weapons that are modified versions of pre-existing ones that are going to be reworked to work with different perks. And if you're getting a little confused as to what I mean, well, you'll see it here in a second. Our first weapon is the Healththrower. As you can see, it uses the pre-existing model for the freezethrower. In fact, this is what the quote is from Horzine. It says, what if we modified the standard freezethrower, but made it for medics? The Healththrower is going to have it where you can spray like a healing gas or healing fluid or something that will be able to poison enemies and heal teammates. And it's also going to have an alt fire that will shoot the standard medic dart. So you'll be able to heal teammates from distance as well as close up. As for our second weapon, I have kind of a theory on this one. You see, Doom 2 E1M1 is one of the most popular community-made maps in Killing Floor. Not just Killing Floor 2, but in Killing Floor 1. There's actual servers that would run 24/7, just that map. It was a map that everyone liked. So maybe somebody at Tripwire was like, so that's a popular map, that Doom 2 map. Doom 2 was made by id Software. id Software made Quake. Quake has a nail gun that's automatic. We have one that's a shotgun. Boom, bam, let's make an automatic nail gun. And thus, the nail gun PDW for the SWAT perk was born. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, that's totally not how it went at all. But it's just a little fun theory I came up with. This weapon I'm excited for mainly because of how much of an underused weapon the nail gun actually is. It's so underused, I forget it exists half the time. Just in my last news video, I said of how excited I am for the Rhino because that weapon is going to have a ricochet. Well, ricochet exists in this game, but only for the Vlad the Impaler. It's a weapon for Berserker, it gets overshadowed by the melee weapons. It's a weapon for the support, but it gets overshadowed by every other shotgun. So maybe, being for a perk that doesn't tend to have a lot of weapons that behave in a very unique way, I mean, majority of them are just automatics. They're just SMGs, like with varying stats, nothing too special. So maybe this weapon will actually stand up above the rest of them. And for our last weapon, we have kind of a classic. I want to say it's a classic idea here. A true hand cannon. For those of you who play Call of Duty, and you may know it as the Executioner. For people who play Payday or have seen it in the real world, it's called the Judge. It is the buckshot revolvers. That's right, revolvers. There's 2 of them. You can dual wield shotguns. I am so excited for that. Apparently this weapon is just made for personal defense, by the way. I'm not sure why they have that in there, but that may be because the Judge is actually made for if someone's trying to break into your car while you're in the car, you can just pull it out and shoot them with it. So And as you can tell, it uses a slightly modified version of the Magnums. They kind of just chopped off half the barrel. But I'm excited to give this weapon a try. I love the shotguns. Support was actually the first class I got to level 6 in Killing Floor 1, which was the highest level for those who haven't played it. Because I love shotguns. I just love shotguns in games. Even if they're bad, I still like them. I have a soft spot for them. So I can't wait to give these guns a try. I actually have a few ideas of my own for some weapons here. And I'd like to know if you guys have some too. Since they're doing this concept of taking established weapons and then reworking them for other perks, do you guys have some nice ideas? Here's 2 of mine, alright? One of them is you take the AA-12 and instead of buckshot, you replace it with slugs. This way you basically have a commando weapon with a little bit of penetration. My second idea is you take the crossbow and you give it explosive bolts so it's then for demolition. Now you might be saying, Caboose, we already have the seal squeal. That's basically the seal squeal, but with one shot. The way I see it, the crossbow is like the M79, and the seal squeal is like the M32. You have single shot versions and multi-shot versions. That's what I'm saying here. So we have a single shot version of the seal squeal. If you guys have any interesting ideas, please put them in the comments below. If someone from Tripwire sees this, maybe you might give us some ideas. Who knows? Please tell me what you guys think of these weapons in the comments below. I'd love to know what your opinions are. Much like last week when I asked you what you think of the $10 per weapon. And everyone who saw it was basically like, yeah, that's too much. Now before you go, we have one last thing. It's probably a sneak peek for next week, but basically what it's saying is this. They're inserting us back into the Texas Embassy for our latest objective. Do try to get in and out before the nukes go off, and it shows a picture of the map nuked. What that's saying to me is that the map nuked is about to have objective mode. That's going to happen in the next update. We're going to have an objective mode for the map nuked. But what I'm wondering is these 2 things. Is this going to take place before the nukes went off? And are we going to have a timer? Like a timer throughout the entire thing to get the objectives done. If so, that'd be a new kind of objective. And that would basically be a new variant on this map. And I'd like to see what this map looked like before it went to shit. And that's going to be it for anything new. That's everything in this post. But I will say this. Some closing words of mine are this. I'm okay with having to pay $10 for new weapons if at the very least we're having some kind of new weapons introduced in each update. For free, that is. Because what happens is this. Say you can't afford to buy the new weapons. Okay, so you need to find a game where someone does own those weapons. But you can't seem to find a game. Or you don't know anyone who does. Or your friend who does isn't online. At the very least, then, you have some new weapons to try out and enjoy. Weapons are a big part in Killing Floor. I mean, all you do is shoot Zeds. That's the entire game. So having new weapons to try out without having to worry about a price label on top of each one makes it feel a lot better. I feel a lot better about that. Granted, they don't look new. They just have a different skin. But at least it's something. In a way, this is going to be the biggest update because it's going to introduce 5 new weapons. 2 completely new weapons and 3 reworked weapons. And just because they're being reworked doesn't mean these weapons are going to be gone. This doesn't mean that the Magnum and the freezethrower are going to disappear. We're just going to have new ones on top of those. So that's going to be it for now. If you liked the video, please leave a like. It always makes me feel good just to see that counter go up. Whenever we hit double digits, I'm just like, I did it. I made a masterpiece. If you want to see more Killing Floor 2 content, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. I don't know why I always remind you. I just feel kind of obligated to because I want to be a good YouTuber. I mean, you see all the good ones do it, so why shouldn't I? Before you go, okay? There's one very important piece of admission, okay? You listening? Listen? Come on, get closer. Get closer. I'm not going to yell. All right? Just remember, I love you.